This is a really important video. I've basically been getting in contact with a lot of you guys on Telegram, and I've been doing this so that I can troubleshoot my own coaching ability and help people figure out how the best way to help people is. So a problem that I've been finding, a guy's just messaged me now and I made a video of it spontaneously, okay? Here's the thing. What's happening, people are saying, okay, let me get this straight. You're saying that porn doesn't have any objective effects and it's just a subjective buzz on my dick. Okay, I'm going to try and believe that in order to overcome addiction. If I believe that, if I get that mindset, then I'll overcome addiction. This is completely wrong. This is not what I've intended to be the case, and I'm glad that I found out now. You don't want to copy me and try and brainwash yourself using like dogma. So let's imagine this, right? Let's say let's say there's a religious teacher and he's at the front and he's teaching you what to believe, and you're just trying to listen and trying to believe it, and you're trying to believe it. This is bullshit. This is not how human beings work. What you want to happen, right? So I'm giving you the information. The freedom model is giving you the information. You don't want to blindly lead it dogmatically and desperately try to copy my thinking in order to overcome porn addiction. That's ridiculous. Because first of all, you still believe in addiction. It's completely wrong. It's framed completely fucking wrong. And I'm not angry here. It's my fault. This is completely my fault. Basically, what you want to do, okay, is you want to take in the information and logically think about it. Is this true? Like, where's the logic? And you have to admit to yourself, like, if I ask the question, and this is what's happening on Telegram. I'll ask the question to people: do you believe in porn addiction? People are like, no. And I'm like, do you believe in external urges? No. But then when we talk more and more, they actually do believe in it. They do believe, yeah, if they're honest with themselves, they're like, yeah, I do feel these urges. I do feel that porn is like the most pleasurable thing on earth. I do feel that I'm addicted. But they're trying to copy my mentality. They're trying to like copy paste. Instead of trying to copy paste my mentality, you need to arrive at the conclusion on your own. You have to arrive at that conclusion. The conclusions that you arrive to on your own is going to be the strongest. And that's how I did it. You think logically, and this is the thing. To start with, you have to admit where you're at now. You don't want to try and short circuit things. I made a video about short circuiting, and this is related to that. Do you see what I'm saying? You don't want to copy paste. You don't want to short circuit the whole thing, and you don't want to see this as a gimmick in order to overcome addiction. Because you don't have addiction, and then me saying, oh, you don't have addiction, you don't want to be like, okay, I don't have addiction. No, fuck that. Think about the reasoning behind everything, right? When a religious teacher tells you, believe in God, you can't just be like, okay, I believe in God. No, be honest with yourself and be like, I don't believe in God. I don't fucking believe in God. And then when the religious teacher teaches you, there's some point which you find convincing. Do you understand? You're finding something convincing about it all. And this is the key. It's like, when you start to look at, this is why the research in the freedom model was really, really useful, because you'll see in the book, you'll look at the data about substance use disorder and how substance use disorder goes down over time, whereas real diseases like diabetes, cancer, and heart disease go up over time. Like, fuck, why is that? And you're just finding it convincing. You're finding you're like, because logically it makes sense, right? This is the thing. Porn addiction, nofap, urges, all of that doesn't make sense. But me saying, oh, it doesn't make sense, doesn't mean that you should then copy paste that and think, okay, it doesn't make sense. You shouldn't just believe me like blind. Like, if I'm telling the truth, then it should be pressure tested. This should be subject to scrutiny. Do you get it? Like, I think I take this for granted because in philosophy, I did philosophy at degree. I did physics and philosophy at degree, master's level, okay? So, I've always been very skeptical of everything. So it takes me quite a while to be convinced of something. But once I've compiled enough evidence in my mind, and it's now to the point where I can't, like, it's a very, like, skeptical mentality that I'm coming at it with. I'm like, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. And then with enough logic, it comes to a point where I'm like, the evidence is overwhelming, the logic is overwhelming, I believe it now, you know? And that's how it is, that's how it fucking is. It's not like, and I understand totally why people are thinking this way, because people are desperate to overcome porn addiction. People are desperate to stop using porn. And because they're desperate, they're thinking, I need to believe it, I need to believe it, I need to believe it. This is like super contrary to how people actually arrive at conclusions, you know? So, do you understand what I'm saying? I'm hoping this is resonating. If it isn't, let me know and I can clarify in the comments, or I can even make another video about it. So do let me know. Don't go into this panicked and thinking, I need to believe this to overcome porn addiction. Instead, it's like, okay, where's your logic? What are your points? Is it true? Is it true? Where's the evidence? Where's the logic in my own life? For example, let's say, okay, do you believe in urges? Let's say I'm talking to someone, coaching someone, whatever. I'm saying, okay, do you believe in porn addiction? They're like, no. And then I'm like, okay, if you're like totally honest with yourself, do you believe in urges? They're like, yeah, I do believe in, like, I do. It does feel like I get urges. So I'm like, okay, great. So show them the evidence about human choice and all of that stuff, and how if you believe you're addicted, that's a great reason to use porn. And he's sort of buying into it. He's like, okay, let's say time passes. He reads the freedom model, blah blah blah. And then I'm like, okay, can you consider how like you using porn is just a choice because you like porn? And again, there's honesty required here. Like, I do like jacking off to porn. Like, it's fun. I like it. Like, I do like it. I feel like I'm getting educated. I'm exploring new fetishes. Like, it feels useful. That's useful to me. I'm like, great, we're getting somewhere. Do you get it? And I do apologise. I should have made this clearer, but I couldn't have come to this conclusion if people weren't feedbacking into me with saying, "Oh, the guy's literally on Telegram. He said to me like, I'm just trying to copy you," and it's like, fuck that. Do not dogmatically. And if you don't know what dogmatically means, that means like where you believe something based on just pure faith. This should be a conclusion that you arrive at. So you admit, okay, I like jacking off to porn. Do I see it as an urge? Well, I don't know yet. Let's see. So, okay, fine. But he's at least open to the idea of it not being an urge. Right? Do you like porn? Okay, yeah. What do you use porn for? Okay, I use it for to educate myself about new fetishes. I feel like I need to learn all of this about sex. And then he can then re-reason and be like, and I'm like, okay, do you really like need it for that? Like, why do you need that? And he's like, oh fuck, but if I don't watch these porn videos, how am I going to stay up to date with the latest porn star that's making up videos? And then I'm like, okay, well, why do you need to stay up to date with it? And then he's like, how does that fit into your life broadly? Like, why does you staying up to date with the latest porn star, why is that important to you? And then he might be like, because otherwise I'm missing out on this insane pleasure. And then it's like, okay, are you getting that insane pleasure though? Like, are you getting that when you masturbate to it? Is it important? Are you getting that insane pleasure? And he's like, I'm getting the physical pleasure of the masturbation, and I think it's because I see value in the porn star. Like, I could reconsider and be like, do I even give a shit about this? It's like with football. Here's a good analogy. It's like with football. I used to give a shit about football maybe like a few years ago, and then I just stopped watching it because I was like, this doesn't add to my life at all. It's pointless. I don't actually believe that football is very, like, following the Premier League is actually valuable. It's just pointless. I've got better shit to do, and I just stopped. And it's the same with PMO. You could be like, fuck, do I even give a fuck? Like, what do I want with my life, like, broadly? And it's not battling it. Do you see how it's not a battle here? It's like it's literally just you deciding differently. You're reevaluating. You're reconsidering. Like, is it that important to me? Is it important that I need to stay up to date with this porn star? If I didn't stay up to date with this porn star, what would happen? Fuck all. And now your mind is slowly opening. It's not. Do you see the difference between this as opposed to, okay, I don't believe in porn addiction. I don't believe in urges. I don't believe it's pleasurable. It's not pleasurable. It's not pleasurable. It's not pleasurable. And you're like affirming it to yourself, and you're telling it to yourself, and you're drilling it into your own mind. No, this is no bueno. This is not the way. Right? This is like religious dogma. Fuck that. This is not religious dogma. This is scientific. Like, you're arriving at a conclusion through evidence and logic, right? This freedom model stuff isn't just some esoteric bollocks that you're meant to believe in order to beat porn addiction. No, this is like this is actually how human beings work. Addiction isn't a disease. There's plenty of evidence for it, and logically you can figure that out. And then as you start to figure it out, you think to yourself, okay, I don't really need porn. Okay, whatever. And you're like, fuck, I don't really need it. There's loads of benefits of not watching porn. And then maybe you go a week, and you've not gone a week without porn before, and you're like, this is cool. It's a bit like unsettled to some extent because it's outside my comfort zone. It's a little bit new. It's like going to a new school. It's a little bit, I'm stepping out of the cage I've been in for so long. I've got all this time and energy that I could do new shit with, and that might be a bit of like, you might be like, okay, what do I do here? But like low key, like porn is not that important to me. Jerking off's not important to me. I don't have an addiction. I was choosing to use it every time, and now the beliefs are getting reinforced by your real personal experience. And this is actually how you became addicted. This is how you learned the concept of addiction in the first place, because you bought into the dopamine belief, and then that dopamine belief became self-fulfilling. Then you had the experience of feeling addicted, and now you really buy into the addiction because it becomes self-reinforcing. This is the same but opposite. It's like, instead of winding the thing this way, instead of going like that, we're just going like backwards and out of the cage of death, right? And there's no actual cage of death. It's just a conceptual one. I'm really hoping this is making sense. This is super important. Like, I'm probably going to I'll see how well this video is received, and I'll do some more messaging, because I want to see how many of you guys are actually stuck here. Because especially the younger guys, you're so used to following influencers blindly. This whole concept of coming to your own conclusions, actually, perhaps it's somewhat foreign to you. I don't even know. This is why I'm trying to figure it out. And as I said, this is good that I'm getting into this stuff now. Hopefully, as this video goes out, some of you will get in contact with me, and then I can make maybe an update video that's more clear and more concise, and really just explain how people come to conclusions instead of blindly believing it to battle addiction. You see how it's completely off. It's off completely. When you learn shit, you learn, and you of your own volition. Yeah, in here, you don't believe stuff of just blind faith and just hope and desperation. It's not the way. Okay. Hoping this made a lot of sense. Please comment, please message me. I really want to get this right, and this is really important, because if you're believing this blindly, man, it's not going to work. Simple. If you're believing it like it's like a religious belief, it's not going to fucking work to you, because you're just going to be flip-flapping back and forth. You're going to be indecisive as fuck. You're not even going to believe it, because your own experience of watching porn and it being pleasurable and it being important to you, the whole reasoning is going to go unaddressed. It's just going to be in your mind still. You might as well just believe in addiction. Like, you see what I mean? So yeah, let me know. Please let me know. And then we'll fucking solve this shit. And yeah, that's it.